We live in a culture that terrifies us into being hyper-visible. We are told that if we don't post, if we don't show up to every social gathering, or if we don't immediately text back, we will be forgotten. But human psychology operates on a fundamental law of economics. Familiarity breeds contempt, and scarcity creates value. When you are constantly available, your presence stops being treated like a premium asset and starts being treated like a cheap utility. The elite strategist understands that your power isn't measured just by how well you command a room when you walk in. It is measured by the psychological vacuum you leave behind when you vanish. Today, we look at the dark psychology of the strategic ghost. The more a thing is seen and heard from, the less its value becomes. In behavioral psychology, this is linked to the principle of adaptation. When someone knows they can have your time, your attention, or your labor at a moment's notice, their brain stops releasing dopamine when they interact with you. You become predictable. By choosing to become a strategic ghost, by intentionally pulling your energy, your voice, and your presence out of a dynamic, you break their mental script. You force a psychological reevaluation. In your sudden absence, their mind is forced to ask a dangerous question. What did I do to lose access to them? Silence is the only response that cannot be misquoted, and absolute absence is the highest form of boundary.
You cannot undergo a massive leveling up phase while trying to maintain the expectations of your old social circles. A true psychological transformation requires an environment free from external projections. When you vanish into a calculated period of isolation, you aren't hiding from the world. You are entering a chrysalis. Without the constant obligation to perform, explain, or socialize, your brain recovers massive amounts of cognitive energy. You redirect that raw power into accumulating assets, reshaping your physique, or mastering a high-yield skill. You don't tell them you are upgrading. You let the upgrade happen in total obscurity.
A ghost does not stay gone forever. The entire purpose of a planned disappearance is to return as an entirely different entity. When you choose to re-emerge after a strategic ghost phase, you do not explain where you've been. You don't give a grand narrative of your healing or your hustle. You simply show up with a sharper execution, a higher net worth, and a completely unbothered disposition. The contrast between who you were before you vanished and who you are now creates a profound psychological impact. You didn't just step out of the room, you outgrew it.
Stop begging for a seat at tables where your presence isn't respected. Simply stand up, walk out, and let the empty chair speak for itself. Guard your access, master your absence, and remember that those who do not value your words will only ever learn to respect your silence. If you are ready to master the hidden mechanics of presence and power, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment below. Have you ever used the power of vanishing to rebuild your life? Welcome to I for Psych. Stay strategic. See you in the next video.